So my name is Kawan, and I would consider myself an open web artist. What does it mean to make art that is part of the open web, that celebrates the open web? When you have an easel and a canvas on it, like a literal canvas, and it's just, you've just gessoed it so it's completely white, there's possibilities in that. It's the same with a web canvas. So it's kind of like this canvas with all of these additional tools. Now I have the ability to create sounds. I have touch events. So in this canvas, I have the ability to see where your finger is and how many fingers are on the website. I can access the camera on your laptop if you give me permission, and so I can bring that into a piece. I can get the accelerometer, like the orientation of your device. The art that I've been making over the last few years has been interactive and public. And these have been very close values to me because when I make something, I don't want there to be barriers for people to access it and to find meaning in it. We have these devices that are getting more and more powerful, that are getting faster, so I could start thinking about real-time, interactive, collaborative works, whereas a few years ago, it was much more limiting. What can I make now that's leveraging this? So the first is like a collaborative mural of dots. Now the thing is if you went on this website too and you drew a dot and I was on it, I would see what you drew. But it becomes more powerful when you project it. So we projected it on a building, and people who are walking by who are curious of what it is, we could just say, hey, yeah, just go on this website and pull out their phone, or there's an iPad there that we have available, and they could just start drawing. You can make a public space more welcoming and more engaging through this sort of really simple interaction. Like we have a projector, we have the internet, and we have a building. That one's called, it's kind of funny name, Bubblegum Postcard. The next one is something that I recently just revamped, and it's called Dancy Dots. You're on a web page and you can click around and move your mouse around and it makes sounds. But if we're both on it, again, just like before, I can hear the sounds you're making, you can hear what I'm making. The kind of magical thing happens when you share it online and somebody else goes on it. You don't know who that is, but there's only one way for you to relate to one another. It's through this dot. People start going through certain motions. Sometimes it's mimicry. And although our interactions are really, really stripped down, we can only relate to each other through moving this dot and sounds around the screen, we can start being very, very expressive with one another. And in a really strange way, it becomes kind of intimate. Because when you're there with just one other person or just two people, and you've been there for a minute, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, you start feeling close to them. Because you're being creative with them, you start seeing them noticing you and responding to you, and you're noticing them and responding to them. And that's really surprising that that's possible. That here, through just being in this very minimal space, we created a language of expression with one another. That, I think, for me right now is one of the things I want to explore a lot more. How can I create a space for creativity where together we can start creating these patterns and languages? And the third piece that I'm working on now is called Cellular. And this is taking, again, that model of network devices to a mural. Unlike the other pieces, it's not going to show on our devices. Rather, our devices are going to be a controller. And so in this one, you move your phone around and it plays sounds. So instead of like looking at the screen and drawing, you're going to look up because it's not about how precise you are. It's about moving your whole arm. I think about this, like what am I trying to express here? And one of the most basic elements of it is this aspect of you finding some sort of meaning in it, you being able to connect with it, and like literally doing that through bringing you into the piece. So if you come away like having a new idea of what we can do together, and what is possible for us to make, what is possible to exist with what we have, that is a success for me.